Yep.
reason he had the rep, No ho shit, as we say. No ho shit.
Right. Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
they respected us. Like I said, at Death Row, bro. Death Row security. They like Los, you over there with that wavy hair. We know what's up with you. I said, bro, I ain't no gangster. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know I'm flowers and bubble gum, bro. But they was like, nah, we ain't trying to hear that.
Quick them niggas all had the head wavy hair too.
Yeah, they was like, they wasn't trying to hear me say that to them. They was like, nah, bro, you from Detroit. We know what's up.
Exactly.
We don't want no smoke. I said, man, I ain't even cut like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they was testing me or what, but they was like, nah, y'all niggas down there kill each other over chicken wings and Kool-Aid and gym shoes. That's what that nigga said. I said, what? I said, yeah, I do remember somebody getting shot over some Kool-Aid or some chicken wings. I remember that.
Yep, you're right. And they were quick to be trying to do some shit, because I remember that time when Hammer was in LA. I don't know if y'all remember when Hammer was losing it all. Like, when I mean financially, all his money and shit. So he had hooked up with Suge.
Oh yeah, I know all of it.
Yeah, and it was funny because I better not even tell that part of the story, but Hammer, had felt some kind of way, because right before the Funky Hair Hunter album dropped, they do this shit called a buyout agreement.
Okay.
You're supposed to get your points where you get the most out of the album. If it go platinum, your dollar amount change.
Yeah. Right.
2 days before the album dropped, he had his manager named Mustafa or Muhammad. That's what his name was, Muhammad at the time, because Louis Burrell was managing him, but Hammer did a switch up and hired this nigga because he didn't want Louis to be the bad guy. So basically what he did was, and I fuck with the Horton brothers from Detroit, because they was running the busted side, and the management told them, real Detroit street niggas, but real low key now, retired. But anyway, they had our back. So what happened was the Muhammad basically gave us this buyout agreement 2 days before the album. Now let me tell y'all some shit. I wanted my name on the album. If I wouldn't have signed it, they would have pulled the tracks off the album.
Oh man,
Detroit thing. It was a Detroit thing. I wanted that, our name to be on that
album.
album.
Oh yeah, name is important. Oh yeah, they important.
Important. And it was like they put us in a position to where we didn't know what the dollar amount was gonna be if we signed the buyout agreement. All we know is the nigga was like, here, $10,000. That means $5,000 for my brother and $5,000 for me. And they treated it as such as if it was advance towards the album. Now, what that is money that you gotta get paid back to the label.
Or in advance.
$10,000. It wasn't a buyout agreement. Means that $10,000 was us cash to walk away. That was to go into the sales of the album. Right. Knowing that you learning, you fresh, you in the business, but you really don't know all the shit, because you get the lights and glamours, you got all the shit coming your way. We end up signing that buyout agreement for that $10,000, man, not knowing that when you signed that buyout, that was an advance towards your money you were supposed to get. So basically, he gave us $10,000 against monies that we had, that was money we really worked and earned.
Yeah.
Why should we be recouping that shit? But at the time, we didn't want to disappoint our Detroit shit. We didn't want to disappoint our families, that knowing that we was on an album, and then what happened? Y'all not on the album, because we would have been on some shit on our business shit, like, no, we ain't signing this shit or whatever, right? They said they was gonna pull the songs, but that's a chance that we had to take, because we didn't want to play with that shit, right?
Right.
We end up signing the buyout agreement, man. No one never knew that story. We never told that story. And as a result of it, Cassandra Mills, which is Stephanie Mills' sister or cousin or something like that, the famous Stephanie Mills singer, Cassandra Mills was running Giant Records at Warner Brothers. And it was a big, big thing, because Hammer album was supposed to projectively sell so many copies. Warner Brothers didn't want to produce plaques, all kinds of shit, man. We went through all kinds of shit trying to get our plaques, man. It was like people got pissed off. And that whole situation was considered a failure in Hammer's record sales.
Right.
Because you know all the shit that he ever did, you know that pump it, all the other shit.
Right.
Them shit sold multi-million-dollar.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Well, his first records, yeah, they blew it out the water.
Right.
crazy, like what they call diamonds and shit like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? But because that album only sold 2 million copies, they was like, "Oh, this is a failed album." We like, "Shit, nigga, that's 2 million. We want our blacks." And they was
Right.
able to hold on. That shit was I tell you, man, the business. For anybody looking to get into business, man, you just gotta know what you know. You gotta have ironclad contracts, great attorneys, and understand the business and all that shit that I ever pride myself on, which understanding the business. You would have never known that you would have got a buyout agreement 2 days before the release of a major album. That don't happen in the history of the music industry. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
So to get a buyout agreement 2 days before the release date, maybe hindsight we could have said, "Fuck that, nigga. They gonna release the album. They not gonna take those songs off. They already got a certain amount of records pressed." We wasn't thinking. We didn't think that we can play that game. We was like, "Oh shit, they gonna take the songs off the album. We don't sign.
Yeah.
We better sign this shit, right?"
Right.
But that shit crazy. And I never had thought about telling that part of the business or the story to people. But you know, it don't matter. I just think it's a lesson to tell. The lesson is to educate and try to let people know that get on your ironclad contract, stay on your business, and just make sure you'd always be one step ahead of the game from as a writer, producer, whatever, artist.